Okay, Neal Bredehoeft, and we're going to talk about Farmers for Soil Health. We are a century farm. We started, my grandparents started in 1907, and my parents carried on in the 50s when they got married, and my two brothers and I came back from college in the middle to late 70s, and we continued the farming operation. We used to raise a lot of hogs. That was our predominant occupation, I guess you'd say at that time, but we got away from that. We are corn and soybeans. We've also, of course, over the years been real concerned about conservation and soil erosion, soil health. So in the 50s, 1950s, my dad, as he purchased land, would put the water control measures on, terracing waterways to control the water. And then in the early 90s, we started no-till. And from there, we've evolved a little bit into cover crops over the last 8 or 10 years. Of course, even with no-till, we still had, we farmed highly erodible ground, so we still had some soil erosion. And we tried it on a few acres and could tell the difference as we combined the soybean crop. We didn't have those little soil, little ditches, I'll call them, that the soil washed away. And that eliminated that, and so that really propelled us to do more cover crops just on the soil conservation part. And one of the benefits we've seen as time has gone is on some of the fields we've seen a little increase in organic matter also. So we feel like it's something that long term will help us out on the farm here. There's really no one close in our neighborhood that did cover crops at that time. So it was one of those things we just decided to try, and could tell the difference that it did make after the first year or two. So it kind of propelled us to try to do more. We never had any direct comments, but I'm sure we did when you plant the rye and you get it up. We plant cereal rye as a cover crop, so you get it up so tall, and then we usually go on with a chemical burn down and then plant right behind that. So I'm sure there was some talk about it, but after a year or two, there was more and more farmers around here that started to do that cover crop on their acres. Well, we have tried mixes over the years. We different radishes and different things like that, some winter oats. But cereal rye seems to be the one that's the most hardy, I guess, because some of those radishes and those types, they'll freeze out, so they don't really give us enough benefit, because we come in after the corn crop and plant it. So the earliest we get is the 1st of September planting cover crops. So if we put anything like radishes out there, they'll freeze out and really don't do us give us a lot of benefits. We tried a lot of different mixes, and finally just came back to cereal rye. And it's trial and error. And it all depends on what part of the country you're in. I mean, to know what's going to work in your area and what's not. Well, we usually try to come in with a spreader and spread the cereal rye behind the combine as close as we can get to it. And we just hope we get a rain to bring it up. And we usually do. I mean, it usually hasn't been a problem. And then come back in the spring, and then probably 2 to 3 weeks before we plant the soybeans, we'll come in and burn down the rye with a chemical application. Well, I was being on the United Soybean Board. I had direct contact with it. I'm actually on the advisory board for Farmers for Soil Health, so I've kind of known about it since day one. So once we got the grant approved, then's when I started to think about we ought to put a few acres in. The advisory board has got farmers on it, and we've really had a lot of input early on how we handled the program. So I think it was really valuable that there was farmers sitting around the table saying, okay, this will work, or this may not work. Well, I've always said I think a person needs to try it on a few acres. The producer needs to say, well, let's try it on this farm. And the benefit, of course, is long-term benefit. But with the Farmers for Soil Health program, there is that cost share availability, which helps offset the cost of it. If you're interested, just try it on a few acres. It's not, try it on a small portion of your farm just to see how it does work. I mean, I think you'll see some benefit pretty quick, especially in our area we did, because of it slowed down the soil erosion, eliminated it in some places. So I think and that's why we went into it, is just to keep the soil on the field. We've always been conservation minded, so that's kind of why we did it. So I encourage farmers to take a look at the program and give it a try.